Hi, friend. It's so good to see you, and thank you so much for stopping by. If you come back, welcome back. So this is the second video that I make for the series, which is called PhD documentary, where I would like to talk about my PhD journey. And so let's get straight to the point I would like to address today in this video. That is how is it like to be an international student in the US? How does it feel like to me with a student visa, have changed, and I would like to share with you the changes that happened in my own mindset and my perception of how I view myself as an international student in the US. So in the past, okay, let's give you a little bit of context. I have been in the US for 7 years. Not constantly. I would say that I did my bachelor, I came back to my home country, which is Vietnam, and then I came back to the US for 2 years for my master. And now this is my summer break. I just graduated from my university and get my master degree. So and then for this after this break, then I will come back to the US for another 3 years for my PhD. So my experience as an international student, I would say I'm blessed to not have a lot of dramatic events that happened to me during the time that I studied in the US. However, if you ask me if I truly feel like myself and feel like can be I can show my full potential when I was in the US, I would say not really. And there's a lot of back then the way that I view myself as being an international student is that when I came to the US for the very first time, I realized that I am from a not poor, but I would say a developing country compared to the US. So I'm from Vietnam. So I feel like at that time, okay, I would say like 7 years ago, I first came to the US in 2014. So you do the math. Sorry, I cannot. So I first came to the US 2014. And at that time, for me, I feel like I felt like I was less than other people automatically because of given where I am from, given the country, my home country, where I'm from. I have the perception of myself as less than other people, less than especially those who were born in the US. And the second barriers that I found was at that time was my language, my English. Even now, sometimes I also feel embarrassed of my English as well. Sometimes, but not as often as I was in the past. I feel like the language that I speak somehow hinder me from fully expressing myself and showing my potentials to others. As a result, I felt like I lost a lot. I lost a lot of opportunities just because I feel embarrassed of the way that I speak English, and I feel embarrassed of how my background is not as good as other. So there's a lot going on in my mind that actually hinder me from being fully being myself. So not just that, on top of that, is that I always feel like I have to try to prove myself because of that mindset, right? Because of that perception of who I am compared to compared to the U.S. or the U.S. citizens. I was like, I have to prove to myself, I have to prove to others all the time, and it was very draining, I have to say. And I didn't realize that until now. After the break, I had the time to do some reflection, and I realized that, oh wow, for so many years, I had to constantly prove myself to others, prove that I am good enough, prove that I am worthy, I prove that I have the ability to be to be at the same table, to contribute to the conversation, to contribute to the discussion, to be a part of something while I am in the US. So that's a very training, and I feel exhausted with mentally and even physically too for constantly proving yourself to others. And I always trying to fit in. And my idea is that as being an international student, I am an outsider. So I had to change myself. I had to behave in the way that people expect me to do, and I have to try to be as good as the students, the native student. I don't know, is that a word, native student? But a student who was born there. I feel like I need to act in a certain way, behave in a certain way, learn the new culture as fast as possible, just to be a part of that group. And it's training, I have to tell you, until when I get home, when I come back here with my family, I just shocked of how much of energies I used just to prove myself to the people in the US. And I feel like I am not really myself either. And that's kind of like a wake-up call to me that I need to change that mindset, because it's very draining and it's not very healthy for your mental health, for my mental health. So I don't think that would be that way of thinking is sustainable. And after 2 months of doing so many reflections, I realized that I need to change that mindset. And what I learned when I am here and I am with my people, with Vietnamese people, with the culture that I am familiar with, and with my parents around, with a lot of support and a lot of resources around surrounding me, and easy for me to get access to, and also my language, Vietnamese is my mother tongue, and everything feels so easy come to me, and that way make me feel like that actually, that the difference makes me realize how much I try, how a lot of effort I try to be someone else, to be with others, to prove myself when I am in the US. And now the change that I want to make, and when I prepare myself when I get to the PhD, is that I want to have the new mindset that I have the value and I can contribute. And it doesn't matter if I'm from Vietnam or from any other developing country, any developing countries. So my backgrounds will not show, will not prove, will not. My background doesn't mean that I am less than anyone else. So I am Linh. I am a Vietnamese woman, and I come to the U.S. to contribute of a certain set of values, and to be a part of the group. I don't have to really trying to deceive myself or fool myself not to be my authentic self. I can just be myself and work hard, putting effort and believe in my ability to do a good job. Just like any other students who were born in the US. And I don't want to perceive myself as less than others. I don't want to compare myself with anybody else who have a better language skills or who was born in the US, because we are from different part of the world, and doesn't mean that because you are part of this part of the world that you are better than someone else in another part of the world. So I just don't want myself to see that difference. And actually that difference, such a difference doesn't exist. And that how I feel now and then as being an international student in the US. And I think the video is kind of long already. There's more I would like to share, but I think that I will say that for the next video. And before I wrapped up this video, I just want two things that I want to share with you. The first thing is that I want to tell you that being an international student, it means that you are so brave. You're brave enough to get out of your comfort zone and to go for something that you truly care about and you truly believe in the future that you're studying, or whatever the reason why you are leaving your house, leaving your home country for. So you are brave and you are always good enough, and it doesn't matter which part of the world you are from. You always have the value to contribute. And the second point that I would like to make is that I will fly to the US tomorrow. So tonight is the last night that I spent here in my room, in my house. Feel so comfortable, and with my parents and my family, my big families as well. So tomorrow there will be a lot of goodbyes, and I just want to say one thing to myself, that I believe in you, Lin. You're gonna do great. You will be able to express yourself, be you, and then you will be successful. Good luck in the US to you and to me. I'll see you in the next video then. As always, Lin is always here, and please have a joyful moment. I'll see you then. Bye. Take care.